Hello and welcome to the Candlelight Podcast, where I, Mohamed Abdalla, talk about different topics, including some of my favorites, which are movies, martial arts, and philosophy. As you guys can see, there is no video in this video. This week, I'm just gonna, do the podcast as an audio format to see how I feel about it. I'm just laying back right now. I'm laying back in my chair. I kicked my feet up on the table, which I shouldn't really do, but I'm in my own room. I'm not really in front of anybody else, so it's not disrespectful. It's not, unmannerly. So I'm just chilling here. I want to see, of course, I didn't want to put that on tape. I don't want, me to be wearing a Kendora and putting my feet up on the tabletop in front of the camera. No, I just wanted to make this episode a bit of a chill one, and just relax. I just drank some Horlicks, and I'm, really, in a chill mood, because, drinking Horlicks always puts me in a chill mood. Just, that's like the end of the day drink, you just get to sit back, lay back, and just, enjoy your rest that's well earned because you've worked throughout the day. And, and by the way, before we get to the quote, I know this is the longest I've ever talked, I think, before I've ever gotten to a quote in an episode, but hey. So, I'm just kicking back right now, enjoying the fact that I put out 30 of these things, 30 podcast episodes on this channel. Something that's pretty cool. I knew I just had to do it, and it's gonna, stack up. I knew I just had to start to do something like this podcast, and it'll stack up in no time, and, I'll see the fruits of my labor, at some point soon. And yes, soon enough. I mean, I started in January, I think, and now I'm in August, and wow, 30 episodes later, and here I am with 1 or 2 active listeners. Oh man. But yeah, I really like the fact that I did something. I actually did put myself out there somewhat, and I think I should do more of that. I should actually, maybe start a business, because I shouldn't really be I'm saying a lot of should. And anyway, yeah, I think I will, because it's not really the most opportune time right now to find jobs. And I'm actually graduating soon. I'm hopefully graduating by the end of the semester, so by the end of the year rather, and I'm gonna be looking for a job. So I should start freelancing from now, since I'm a media student and I can do that. And I should just start freelancing and make some money. And be kind of self-sustaining, instead of dependent on having to find a job at some company somewhere. But nevertheless, that's the plan, to find a job at some company somewhere. Not some company somewhere. It's here in Sharjah, in my hometown. And I've got a few companies in mind. And I should do a side gig of actually having a freelance type thing that I got going on. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me so far. I'm here, happy that I did the 30 episodes. And the reason like I said, the reason I didn't want to put a video on this episode is, just to have a chill podcast, see where this goes. I'm in a chill mood. I just want to be, relaxing. I don't want to have to set up the camera and everything, because, usually I have to set up the camera at the right angle, right next to my door. So it makes the door to my room hard to access, to get in or get out of, because the camera is right there, right in front of the door, not really blocking it, but really taking a lot of space, the tripod, and just, facing me as I talk to you guys, as I face you guys. So I really hope, well, I was about to say, I really hope it's not a problem that I, didn't use a video, but then I realized, what do you mean it's not a problem? This is your show. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm just gonna be a chill mood. I'm laying back, and, just want to, see how I feel during this one, because usually I might tend to get, flustered with the overabundance of information and stimulus that I need to focus on being close to the mic and looking at the camera and, looking sharp while doing it and everything. But I think I just wanted to, be able to lay back, put my head on my chair, and just be able to speak my heart out without, having to focus on all these things. And I'm really enjoying it so far. Wait, how far are we in the episode before I even talked about the quote? It's been almost 5 minutes. What the heck? Well, there you go. As you can tell, I'm in a flow state right now, and I just want to, ride this wave out. It's pretty cool. So let's get to this week's quote, guys. Everything good that has ever happened in my life happened as a direct result from helping somebody else. This quote brought to you by Danny Trejo, the LA legend, Danny Trejo. Yeah, the film star and, action movie star, Danny Trejo. This guy, I've been watching his movies ever since I was a little kid, not necessarily his action movies, but movies he's been in, including his action movies. Things like, many different movies that he's been in. Wow. But I guess something that I watched when I was a kid was, Spy Kids. He was the uncle there. It was pretty cool, seeing him as like this bad dude being the uncle and whatever. But yeah, Danny Trejo. Oh, by the way, I didn't even know his name was Danny Trejo. I always read it as Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo. And I thought it was cool, Trejo. It was a cool name. But turns out it's Trejo. Because, you don't pronounce the J's in Spanish. Danny Trejo. Anyway, I'm going to stop saying his name. But yeah, so I was actually listening to the Mike Tyson's podcast as I was working out this Thursday, I believe. And, because, this is, I'm recording this at Saturday and Thursday was 2 days ago. And I was listening to Danny Trejo on Mike Tyson's podcast. And I was like, cool, Danny Trejo's on. All right. This is going to be a good podcast. A good listen to while I work out. And I found out that Danny is as legit as the characters he plays. He's actually the tough, mean dude, that's portrayed on screen. Not only that, he's 77 years old right now. And the podcast that he, filmed with Mike was like about a year and a half ago when he was like 75 or something. And dude, let me tell you guys, he looks amazing for his age. And he's just as sharp and he's all there. Dude, it doesn't feel like he's 77, more like barely a 50-year-old, He aged so well. Wow. To see him, speaking and, conversating and being just cool and, wow, telling stories, he is just as legit, just as cool, just as bad as the dudes he plays. Because, I didn't know much about his personal life. I just, watched his movies. And just him talking about his personal life, how he's been through juvie, through prison, and he's become a lightweight and welterweight boxing champion in, regional circuits in LA. Man, he's become an LA legend, basically. And wow, dude's lived a life, And he talked about how he got started into movies and how he, kind of owns his own, donut shop and I believe the Trejo Tacos restaurant right now. So it's pretty cool, seeing him, it's such a happy, I want to say happy-go-lucky dude. I was about to say that. No, more like a, just a very, he's just, a good conversator. He was actually talking, the whole podcast, he was just talking. It was him just speaking like 90% of the podcast with him and Mike. And Mike, as you guys might know, if you don't, he usually, gets high in his podcast. So he doesn't talk much, really. Case in point, the most recent Habib podcast that he did with Mike, that Mike did with Habib, he didn't talk much because he was stoned out of his mind. Man, I hope Mike, gets through that. It realizes that drugs aren't the best way to, live your life. But yeah, that's his lifestyle. So, Danny was just there, being in conversation, recalling these memories from his childhood, from his early adulthood, from his late adulthood, just all these different stories. And man was just, on, he was flowing in conversation and he was really just talking the whole time. And it didn't feel like it was awkward, like, dude, you're hogging too much of screen time. Let the other guys talk for it. But no, it felt like it was like that old uncle or that grandpa that has many stories to tell and everybody wants to hear them. And they were cool stories, man. Yeah, Danny Trejo, pretty cool guy. So yeah, it was really interesting to see him on the podcast. And I guess I just talked about Danny and didn't really talk about the quote that he's given in the podcast. Yeah, so there's this quote, I've heard, from the podcast where Danny basically said, every good thing that has ever happened in his life happened as a direct result from helping somebody else. Yes, this is something that's really cool and important. And it's the more I kind of just live, the more I listen to people, the more I experience life. This just is, rings to be true. Good things come from helping others. And Danny actually talked about, the current situation in LA, because, he's from LA. and Los Angeles has really a bad, homeless problem, in the sense that there are a lot of homeless people on the streets just wandering about and not, they don't really have, a place to live other than the streets. So, and something else Danny said in the podcast was interesting. Some people are not looking for a handout. They're looking for a hand up. They need someone to help them up. Not a handout, a hand up. Just, someone just needs to step in and take that step to help them. And they'll actually get back on their feet. And Danny talks about this. And yeah, just going back to the quote, helping people is the best way to help yourself. Especially when, with that other quote, which I was surprised that I didn't even, share it up until this point, I guess, was that the best way to learn is to teach. Because you have a student in front of you and you're teaching them. And by teaching them, you're solidifying, cementing the idea in your own head, because you need to, have a good understanding and grasp of that idea to be able to teach it to others. And as you're teaching, you're learning it. You're reminding yourself of the lesson. So yeah, by helping others, you are helping yourself. This is a very core component of our being as humans. Helping others, being altruistic. And, this will be really good for you. And I don't necessarily mean good for you in just the physical and mental sense, I feel good about myself, I've helped others. No, I mean this is truly just a good thing. Even, and this is an interesting thing that I've read today. But before I actually talk about it, say what it is, I'm actually gonna look it up to see if it's a legit quote, because that's what I read, and I do not want to be wrong about this specific person, peace be upon him, that I want to quote right now. So let me just look for that quote again and see if it's actually him who said it. I want to verify it. There you go. Okay, let me just, I didn't even open it yet. I just found the reference number. Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 500. Let's see. Well, already I can see that I can find it here. Which charity is... Oh, what I was about to say, I'll read out the quote. I don't want to read it out just yet. Wait. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I'm looking for it right now. Trying to see if it's an actual hadith. A hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Looking for it right now. I'm sorry if I'm stalling, guys. I'm really sorry. I just want to, make sure that I don't get this wrong, because I don't want to accidentally lie about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I'm looking for it right now. Man, I can't find the source for it. So I'm just not gonna relay it. I'm not gonna relay it. But yeah, man, this is taking me out of my train of thought. I'm trying to find it. Where in the world? Please, where is it? I am trying to look for it. Well, can't tell. Well, just give me a few more seconds. Let's see. Well, I guess I couldn't find it. Sorry, guys. Sorry I kept you waiting this long. But I don't want to relay anything and say it's from the Prophet, peace be upon him, when it's not really. I really don't want to do that. So, yeah. There you go. Sorry about that, guys. Well, going back, helping other people is the best way to help yourself. It's really just a good thing. And, it's a really good thing. I kind of lost my train of thought, but I want to just jump back in, not waste any time. So, yes, we're talking about, helping others. And yes, helping and teaching is the best way to help and make sure you yourself are educated, by teaching others and helping others. So, yeah, guys, do a good thing for others, at least give a, lend a hand. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, so... actually, I want to talk about this thing real quick. Just mention, I don't know if I talked about this in the last podcast or if I even brought it up. Lionel Messi, the greatest football player of all time, has left Barcelona. If you guys are into football or know anything about football, or as Americans call it soccer, but it's actually football, you know that Lionel Messi has been in Barcelona for forever, ever since he started his career. He's never left Barcelona. He never, turned his back on them. And I'm not saying he's turned his back now, but he left them because there was a contract dispute, not between him and the club, but between him and La Liga, like the governing body of football, of that, that part of it, rather. And man, Messi left Barcelona. He was kind of forced to leave Barcelona. And man, the guy was in tears. He held a press conference and he was in tears, just, so sad that he's left the football club that he's put his heart and soul into, blood, sweat, and tears. Man, he's accomplished so much, but he felt like he had more to do. He was sad about leaving. And man, we felt it. It's like, we thought there were some fundamentals in this world. We thought that the sky was blue, and the earth rotated around the sun, and that Messi was in Barcelona, and he was the greatest player of all time. Now, oh my God. As for football fans, this is crazy. And I'm not even that much of a football fan, but I know Messi. I'm a casual, but I know Messi. And Barcelona was, his home. But it isn't anymore now. So he became a free agent. And guess what? Paris Saint-Germain, Germain, picked him up. PSG, the other football team, the French football team, picked him up. And now he's back reunited with Neymar. Neymar left Barcelona, and I believe he went to PSG straight away, or did he go somewhere else? I don't remember, but now he's reunited with Neymar, an old teammate. And now he's with Di Maria as well. His Argentinian teammate, the guy that plays in the Nationals with him. And man, it's kind of cool. And but the weirdest thing about it is that Sergio Ramos, a longtime rival of Messi's, not rival as in they hate each other. No, rival as in they played against each other so many times, and Ramos is the defender and Messi's the attacker, and he's going for the goal, and Ramos is there to stop him. And what usually happens if and when Ramos stops him is that Ramos just goes for a full-on MMA takedown where he hurts Messi, where he injures him. And yeah, Messi so it's interesting that to see them now on the same team. Wow. This is just so fascinating right now. What an interesting time in football. What a crazy time. The fact that Messi left Barcelona for another team now. It's not of his own accord. He was crying. He didn't want to leave. But there was a contract dispute and legality. The politics behind the scenes when it comes to sports is just something just something that I don't like. Because, there's a lot of politics behind sports. And that's why in MMA, there's just so much, when I say politics, I don't necessarily mean like politics in real life. No, I'm talking about like the behind the scenes negotiations where the athlete and the commissions and the club and the managers and the they all have to come into concordance, come to an agreement. And some people don't want to, some people do. And like for example, just crazy behind the scenes stuff. A good example of that is when Khabib was supposed to fight Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight title, and he was sent a contract, 2 contracts in fact, where he signed to fight for the title against Eddie Alvarez. But turns out it was Dana just trying to get McGregor to accept a lower pay, and that's why he gave the contract to Khabib, to just force McGregor's hand, and that's why and that's why the fight was actually given to McGregor instead of Khabib. When Khabib signed 2 contracts given to him by Dana. 2 BS contracts that meant nothing for him to fight for the title, which he deserved to do, but it was given to McGregor because McGregor was the UFC's cash cow at the time. And man, that was just a good example of how bad behind the scenes politics can get with regard to sports. It was just dirty, And dude, just things like that, I don't like them. They ruin the sport, I know that the promoters are trying to make the money and make the interest, but come on, there's some level of, you have to do what's right. And giving Habib the title shot at that time was the right thing to do, but that's not what Dana did. Oh no, he gave the title shot to Conor because that was a spectacle, and Conor was, gonna become champ, even though he doesn't deserve it, even though he totally didn't deserve the title shot, especially since he tapped out to Nate Diaz in the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, he taps like chicken. At the end of the year, he fights for the title. As Habib said, like, what the heck is this? Makes no sense. So yeah, man, these kind of backstage politics, as I call them, ruin sports in general. Ruin sports in general. But yeah, I guess that's how it is. Someone's got to manage and make the money. And it's not necessarily the athletes themselves that are going to do it. There's got to be a promoter. That's just the way it is. All right. Of course, it has to be fixed. I'm not saying that's the way it is for us to just it'd be like, oh, that's the way it is. We just have to accept it. No, we should do something about it. We should, not, campaign against it in whatever way we could. I'm not saying like we should go for full-on campaigns. I'm just saying in our own way, we should be able to somehow, on some level, oppose it. So yeah, so that's that. I would start out talking about Messi and stuff. I guess. Oh, and guys, it's kind of like a sudden thing, like a sudden segue that sucks. But I watched The Rock's new movie today. Actually, I watched the movie Jungle Cruise, and guys, this movie went the way I expected it to go. The Rock just doesn't have good movies, guys. Like he has good movies, but he just doesn't have great movies. His movies are just standard. Standard, above average, and not really much more than that. Like, dude's a cool guy. The Rock is the coolest dude. One of the celebrities that I really like ever since I was young. He's a guy, I've been watching ever since I was a kid, when he was in WWE, when he started out in movies, when he became big in movies, and he did action movies. That was all just very interesting for me. I've been watching him since I was a kid. Really like The Rock, really like the guy. And yeah, but this is a valid thing that I'm saying, which is he has a lot of movies, and none of them are really great. They're all just good movies. Like, there's always a missing element of, there's something more to, there's something left, there's more to be desired, more to be had, when he makes movies. Because, they're always like, very cookie cutter, if you know what I mean. It's not original. His movies are not original at all. It's all just cookie cutter, and, it's all just, the only reason they're good is because he's The Rock. And that's a legit reason that they're good. The Rock brings a lot of good energy and charisma to his movies. But it's enough to make it a good movie, but it's not really enough to make it a great movie. Like, for example, this new movie that I just watched, Jungle Cruise, is just like the most standard story of, quote unquote, treasure hunters looking for this lost treasure. It's not really a treasure, but that's the idea of the movie. Like this, treasure hunting, going through the jungle, finding the missing marshal, finding the missing thing, and then you find it at the end, and and usually you lose it, because that's the cliche. You lose it, you don't really get it. The treasure never really gets. It gets found, but it's never recovered. It's never taken advantage of, except in the movie National Treasure, the first one. That's the one that I watched, at least. I didn't watch the second one properly. The first one, they actually get the treasure and make money off of it, which was awesome. But yeah, so this movie, Jungle Cruise, just the standard treasure hunting movie, with some, things here and there, some idiosyncrasies, but that's about it. It's just the most standard movie, and it was a movie to watch, or a popcorn movie. You enjoy it, but nothing. It's not like a mind-blowing film. It's not really that next level. But I mean, maybe I'm asking too much, and I'm satisfied with what The Rock's doing for his movies, but still, they're always very cliche and not original. Even though I really like the guy, I'm just saying, I hate when people say I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It sounds very passive aggressive. It's like I'm just saying. I don't like saying that. But I am truly saying that there is something that can be improved. There's room for improvement, but and at the same time, I really like The Rock. I really like those movies, but there is room for improvement in his movies. Cool, dude. So yeah, that's something I did today. It was pretty cool, and I guess let's kind of talk about MMA while we're at it, because it's let's cover what happened this weekend, or last weekend rather. Sorry, I just touched the mic right there. I hope that didn't cause a whoosh, just like a rattle, some feedback. But one second, let me just look up what refresh my memory, because what I do know is that Cyril Gane fought Derek Lewis for the interim heavyweight belt. In other words, they fought for the number one contender spot, because there's no champion other than the actual champion, which is Francis Ngannou. So let's see. UFC card, let's see. So yeah, Lewis fought Cyril Gane for the interim title, and other fights on the card were, the fights that I watched at least, Michael Kiesa versus Vicente Luque was a good fight for as long as it lasted, and Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz, which was a really cool fight. So let's start from the bottom. Michael Kiesa versus Vicente Luque. Michael Kiesa went in wrestling, and man, he was like doing well, and he even got Vicente Luque's back. But then the craziest twist of events, Vicente's able to not only escape the back control, but also lock in a Darce, which causes Kiesa to tap in the very first round. It was crazy. It was so fast. Man, what a well-deserved win. To be able to do that, that's just ridiculous. To survive like that and then just like be able to turn it around that quick and lock in a Darce. Great job. Vicente Luque won, and it was a good win. And then after that, you've got the bantamweight fight of. By the way, let me just actually comment on Vicente Luque a bit more. I don't know who's next for him to fight, but I think it's a top 5 guy. He deserves a top 5 guy in order to fight for the belt later. Beats a top 5 guy, and then he deserves to fight for the belt. But yeah, so I don't know who's a good match for him right now. Maybe Leon Edwards, but I thought Gilbert Durinho Burns was a good matchup for him. Turns out they're friends. They shouldn't. I don't think they should fight. They're friends. Make it someone else. But at the same time, you want to get the champion, the number one contender position, and Gilbert Burns was a title challenger. So make of that what you will. And the fight after that was Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz, which showed that Jose still got it. Dude beat a legit top 10 contender, in Pedro Munoz, and did it awesomely. Jose shows that he still got the fight in him, and he still is hungry for a belt. Dude, it was a good performance. Good job, Jose. Oh, and Derek Lewis fought in front of his hometown in Houston, Texas, but lost via TKO to Cyril Gane. Remember, guys, when I said last week I should get some Popeyes in order to support my boy Derek, who I wanted to win? Well, it turns out the Popeyes that I went to was closed, permanently closed. They closed it up. They closed the franchise. So I didn't get my Popeyes, and I should have known then that something wrong was going to happen and that Derek might lose. Joking. Of course not. No, I don't believe in superstition. So, yeah, Derek lost in front of his hometown and in front of his fans, and it sucked, man. I'm really happy that Gane won. He's such a cool guy. Put on a master class. He put on a clinic on Lewis. Beat him amazingly and TKO'd him in the 3rd round. Very beautifully. But man, and Dan Mergliata, the ref, gave Derek all the chances. And but Derek still wasn't able to pull through. Yeah, Derek looked slow. He didn't throw many strikes, maybe like 7 strikes the whole fight. And Gane was just unloading on him and keeping his distance properly, man. It was beautiful to see such a masterful performance, but just gotta feel so sorry for Lewis that he lost in front of his hometown in a title match, in what is promoted as a title match. Man, that must suck. Yeah, feeling for my boy Derek. I really hope he picks himself back up. I'd really love to see him versus Ngannou down the line sometime, because that's what I hope for. But now we're gonna see an I guess, an equally interesting performance where Ngannou goes against the most technical heavyweight on the planet at the moment. What a fight that would be. Gan versus Ngannou. Let's go. And with that, guys, this was the Candlelight Podcast by yours truly, Mohamed Abdalla. I hope you guys enjoyed, because, guys, I felt pretty cool right now. I don't know if it's the Horlicks that put me in the good mood or not, but I felt really good right now. I'm just, like, kicking back, my legs on the table, and, I'm just, like, leaning into my chair. I know it's not good for your back, but hey, I'm doing it, and it's pretty comfortable. And, hey, I'm just in a very chill mood. I can think clearly. I don't have too much stimulation that I need to, focus on, like a camera or, and just, I'm feeling pretty good. I might, I don't know if I'm gonna keep the camera off for the rest of the episodes, but, if I feel like this is the better thing to do, I will. So, with that said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you come back for more. And once again, every good thing that has ever happened in my life happened as a direct result from helping somebody else. See you guys in the next one. Peace.